Jimmy Thang from Maximum PC here at Computex 2015. I'm here at Rosewill Suite speaking with Jesus.
Hi Jimmy, how's it going? Thank you for coming to Rosewill booth here. So let's get right into it.
Sure.
Right here as you're pointing, this is our Rosewill new product line for gaming headsets. We're starting with the Mark series here. So we have Mark 54, 48, and 44, which just indicates high, mid, and low level tier gaming headsets.
Gotcha. Cool. And then these are surround as well.
Yes, so primarily featured on our high-end gaming headset is the 3D surround sound feature with 2 driver supports on each headset.
Cool. And before, I think you were mentioning that, off camera, that you guys used to go with 5.1 and 7.1, but then now you're going with like a surround. Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah,
the
sure.
drivers
So
there.
surround sound feature just indicates that the drivers themselves will be able to replicate the surround sound at any point on a 360-degree sphere. So, which is different from a 5.1 surround sound and a 7.1, which is only specific locations throughout a 360-degree angle.
Okay, so this is more of like sort of a blending effect.
Yes, correct. So you'll be able to grasp the sound at any point all around you.
Gotcha. Cool. And then we have some like power supplies down here as
yeah,
well,
as we move along here, Rosewill has upgraded their power supplies on the gaming series to gold tier and higher, gold, platinum, and titanium series. So from the Capstone G to the Quark series into the Tokamak series.
Cool. And can you talk about titanium? That's kind of a new standard, right?
Yeah. So here at Computex 2015, we're actually releasing the Tokamak series, which is Rosewill's first titanium series power supply. They'll range between 1200 to 1500 watt power supplies, and they'll be fully modular support on there. One of the key notes I want to point out here is these will come with their proprietary 28-pin connector to the 24-pin on the motherboard itself. Everything else will be standard.
Gotcha. And just to be clear, titanium is a higher rating than platinum.
Yeah, so titanium series will rate at a 92 at 20% load, 94 at 50% load, and 92 at 100% load.
Okay. And for those that aren't too familiar with power supplies, can you sort of explain what that means in like layman's terms?
Sure. So it's just how effective the power supply consumes power to reduce the cost of your electric bill. It's primarily when you have these on several machines, either in a LAN party or any type of event where it requires you to preserve some sort of cost.
Gotcha. So like maybe a titanium power supply might cost you a little bit more upfront, but then save you money with your power bill.
Yes, correct. Exactly, Jimmy. That's
Gotcha.
the point exactly.
Cool. And then you guys are working on some cases, right?
Yeah, so Rosewill's coming out with new series cases here. We have this one first prototype version, which is the Gungnir, which resembles to the actual weapon that Odin, the god of lightning, which is Thor's father, uses here. So that's kind of the naming convention for this. 2 USB 2.0, 2 USB 3.0 ports on the top. And actually Rosewill is jumping on board here with this magnetic filter that we're proposing. So there's a magnetic strip all around, and there's a filter, very thin filter here, which is very easy to remove and actually dust off and cleaned off. So preserve your actual case and makes it easy for maintenance purposes.
Cool. And do you guys have like a price and release date for this yet?
Price line for this is actually going to be $99.99 MSRP and $79.99 selling price. Estimated time of arrival will be Q3 this year.
Okay, cool. And that's like a mid-tower case?
Yes, mid-tower case, as they call it, Streamline series here.
Cool. And then to my right here, you guys have a much bigger case. Can you talk about what's going on here?
Sure. This is the actual Nighthawk 117, which is derived from the actual aircraft plane itself, the Stealth. And this is a full tower case, primarily similar to our Thor and our Throne series. This will be the next evolution to it. As you can see, we'll have the top fin fans on the top as well, which is for optimum airflow. 2 USB 3.0 ports. This is still under development part, but most likely going to do 2 USB 2.0 ports as well. 2 fan controllers, which each one will control 3 fans, and a docking station here, headphone and microphone jacks as well.
Gotcha.
One thing I like about this case here, Jimmy, is the fact the slick design here and the actual power and reset switch are actually embedded into the design itself, so you can kind of not see it.
So can you change the colors, or is it just blue?
No, the color scheme on the fans on the front and on the top will actually just be blue. Obviously, they could release a second version, which would be similar to the Throne and Thor series, which could be white with red LEDs on it.
Cool. It's like normally, you know, I was mentioning off camera that I normally prefer like simple cases, but there's something like actually kind of cool about this.
Yeah,
this
so
case.
the case itself, it's got a slick design in the middle here. It's got this divider here on the top, which gives a nice finish on it. And as I mentioned, it's an evolution from the actual Thor and Throne series that we released. So it falls under that same demographic. So
I just like pulling apart things. Sorry.
no, as you can see, right? No, as you can see, it's very simple and explicit on it.
Cool. And then we have you guys have a new keyboard over here.
Yes. So a couple of products that we're showcasing here, Jimmy. As you can see, this keyboard here is the RGB 100. It actually, we're starting off the Mabelos series, which is referred from the actual warrior with faceless appearance, but he can shift his face in any way he sees fit. So similar, as you can see, this keyboard itself is actually replicating different color effects because there's actually music in the background playing. And I'm just going to slightly turn this up so you can kind of hear this a little bit. Right? And as you can see, the keyboard itself here, this is the music effect that they call. So it's just like an equalizer. So it replicates the sounds and it shifts the colors in a pattern such as the way the music is playing.
Cool. And then you guys are can you talk about the switch types?
Yes, the switch type, this is a Kale switch, similar to its predecessor, which is the RGB 80. It'll use the same technology, which is Kale blue switches. It's probably what it's going to start with, and it's going to migrate over to the brown switches. ETA for this is Q4. MSRP for this is $169.99 with the selling price of $109.99 to $99.99. Highly competitive throughout the market.
Cool. And then lastly, we have this chassis over here.
Yeah, so this is our prototype that's being debuted here at Computex 2015, which is a Raptor 22. Same idea as the Nighthawk 117. We're going into this aircraft naming convention system. One thing about this is just this elegant little connection here that if you go ahead and push this, it actually releases a front panel here, which will actually push off and showcase the 5 1/4 race.
So yeah, I was mentioning to you earlier, like when you press that button, I was like, oh, is that like you know, powered or something like that? But it's actually just spring.
Yes, right. So it's just a spring resistant that it gets released as soon as you hit the switch and allows you to just let this come all the way down. Kind of gives a nice little effect.
Cool. And then how much does this cost, and when is it going to be released?
Right now, this one's actually for Q4. MSRP on this one is $99.99. Selling price will be $79.99.
Cool. Thank you, Jose. Or Jesus.
No problem. Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you for coming to Rosewill booth, Computex 2015.